everyone, I'm Carlos Lara from Rock Content. I'm PMM here. So today I'm going to be talking with you about content and product marketing. So basically, how can you integrate them into your PLG strategy? Okay, I'll be with you for the next 50 or hello everyone, I'm Carlos Lara from Rock Content. I'm PMM here. So today I'm going to be talking with you about content and product marketing. So basically, how can you integrate them into your PLG strategy? Okay, I'll be with you for the next 50 or 20 minutes. I really don't know how much I'm going to take here, but I hope you enjoyed the presentation. This is my summary. So I'll be talking about me, content, of course, content in practice, and how can you start implementing those actions. And who am I? I've been working with inbound marketing for the last 4 years of my life. So I'm also an SEO specialist and beer writer. So if you want to talk about PMM, inbound marketing, SEO, or beer, feel free to contact me to reach me. I'll be always available to talk about those topics. Nowadays, I'm the PMM co-responsible for 3 of our main products here at Rock. They are Visually, iClips, and Rockstage. And I've been working on product strategy for the 3 different markets, such as the US, Brazil, and Mexico. So yeah, it's really difficult to work in Portuguese, Spanish, and English. And my main challenges here are, of course, the structure of our PLG strategy, the user experience, and also create synergy between the product and the marketing team. So I think the last one, it's also very important, and it's the key to the success. So let's start talking about content. It's true that we have many definitions for what content is from different authors and specialists, but one thing is certain, that content drives experience, and its goal, it's not just delivering a message, it's deliver value. So content is here not only to deliver empty message, and it's some of the most powerful weapon that we've got to deliver value to everyone. And my goal here is to show you how content can be primordial in your product-led strategy and how to start using it or maximize your results through a content strategy based on your product or audience, okay? So first of all, let's start from the outbound to the product-led. About the last decade, we can consider these as important events for the what we know as the acquisition channels, okay? So I'm not going to put everything here because I'm sure that you are pretty familiar with what happened during the last 10 years, but this is a great summary. So as we can see, we started with the sponsored content and native ads, the predictable revenue came, inbound marketing started to grow. So, and this was a huge change in our scenario. And today, what we've got the product as a channel. So not only today, I can say that it's for the last 3-4 years, and I'm not sure about the future. So no one knows what else is going to come, okay? And talking about product led, I can say to you some examples of companies that master this this kind of strategy. So here we've got HubSpot, Loom, MailChimp, Drift. So I'm pretty sure that you are all familiar with those big companies, those huge companies. And I can also say that they know how to add value to their products through the content. So let's start with an example. Do you know what does it means? So if you were born on, I don't know, at least 26 years ago, probably you know what it means. So I'm talking about WinRAR. And when I say that company helps to deliver value, here's a true example about it. If you got WinRAR, I know that you didn't bought the license. that's okay. Neither me. So when I was a kid, I remember that I was always downloading the WinRAR to unzip my files, but I didn't realize that time that it delivers me a complete tool and there wasn't a motivation for buying. So here is what they got for us. It's very, I don't know if you remember this, but I do remember. There were a message that told us, please know that WinHard is not for free. So after 40 days, the trial period is going to expire, and then you need to buy the license. But I'm pretty sure that no one bought this. So here's the thing. Uh, how could WinHard convert a free user with this message without value? That's what deliver value means. So it wasn't really a trial, because trial is about time limited, or a freemium because freemium is about feature limited. So yeah, you could use basically everything that we had for free. One thing I'm sure is that no one, uh, only companies, huge companies, both WinHard. So yeah, that's what message without value means. And how to correctly use content in your PLG strategy. So as we can see, WinHard, I'm sorry guys if you're watching, but we know that you failed in that time. So talking about those same companies, here I'm going to show you some examples. So if there's one thing in common between those, between these and other companies that work with the product at the center of the strategy, is that content is everywhere. So not only as an inbound marketing strategy or mailing, it's connected. It's a unique and universal narrative about the product itself and the job and its job to be done. And when I say that content it's everywhere, we can see some examples here. So ebooks, webinars, product page, offers, case study, emails, workflow, newsletter, knowledge center. So everything is related to content. And we know also that all those contents are connected. So you can run effectively content strategy without connecting them between. So here is, as we can see, the ebooks are connected to the landing page, are connected to webinars, to the offers, to product release. So everything, it's a web nowadays. And who is not working with content? So I bet you're looking for an answer right now. Maybe a butcher shop, a grocery store from your neighborhood, or even that company that stopped in time. But the answer is that everyone is working with content today, being digital or not. So instead of quantity, maybe quality should be the right path for you to master your communication and content production. And when it comes to quality, there are some pillars that we need to pay attention to. So the three important ones. The first one is about the narrative. So create your brand narrative. It's very important for you, and stick to it in your global communication, because it will show your company's value before your product's value in the product's narrative. So we are also going to talk about a product narrative. The simplicity. The easiest way to ensure that your audience understand the message is by the simplicity. So whether in your copy or visual elements that compose the message. So you also need to stick to the simplicity. And the last one is the consistency. Each piece of the strategy must make sense if they were one, as if they were one. I'm sorry. So the receiver won't be confused when receiving a communication from different media. As I showed to you, content is everywhere. We are using a blog post, an email, a newsletter, offer page, so producing podcasts. So that's what the consistency mean. It's a synergy between all of your channels. And you must find the motivations behind your product. So as we can see in this example, here we've got a company. So A, B, and C are products. And the company narrative that involves everything. So as you can see, as your products are part of your company, the company's narrative, it will be involving also your products. But don't forget to focus in your product's narrative because it's also very important. That's because people buy what they believe. And if they just don't care about your product, it will die for sure. So if you show them a reason to believe in your company, it means that you are halfway to go. And if you can fully understand the motivations behind your prospect behavior, you'll be able to add, to create proposition in your narrative that are long lasting and that customers actually care about. So here we've got the company's narrative, we've got the product's narrative that involves not only the products, but also the message. And of course, there are different ways for deliver a message. So as you can see here in my screen. So it doesn't matter how are you going to deliver this message, but it needs to stick with the product's narrative. So let's go with the first example here. It's a simple one. It's about Sherlock. It's about a bottle of funnel blog post. So let's start with the beginning. I remember that I was studying PLG, and one of my concerns was about how to identify them. And I had already read some articles from Sherlock's blog, and I knew a little bit about their product. So between my third and fourth article, I landed in a page that called "How to Identify Your Product by File Leads with Sherlock." It was a simple web page. It was simple as it could be. I read the article. We asked it for a demo, and we negotiate a trial period. So thank you, Derek. But the big difference here was that the article was divided into two parts. So the first one was about how could I identify and take actions on the PQLs. And the second one was about how Sherlock can drive my PQL process. And I want to show how a blog post can be easy adapted to help you and support your product strategy, just like they did. And today, the funny thing is that things got sophisticated, and we can see that they are already working with other kinds of content. So I landed by an article. I came to the main page, and here is one of those three elements that I told you. Here I've got the product's value. Take customer from trial to forever. And the options that I had: start free trial or get a demo. Going to the second, it's about SurveyMonkey. So if you come to their main page, you're going to see a nice prompt that's about get the answers that you need. So you see a CTA called Get Started. And of course, if you click there, you'll be receiving a welcome email. And what do I realize it so far? First, the copy. Get the answer you need. So it's simple, and it's delivering me the value that I want. I want to get the answers. So we get the answer for 20 million questions daily. Get the feedback you need with a global leader in survey software. So as you can see, the welcome email, and then there were two options: access the product or access the template. And also you can see those three pillars that I mentioned: the narrative, the simplicity, and the consistency. The first one is here, as I told you. The second one, it's already here, as I told you. And what about the third one? It is here. So I received an email that was with the subject, ready to get answer to your questions. And it's about the consistency, right? As you can see that the same question were in their home page. Get the answers you need, ready to get answers to your questions. So that is a clear example about consistency. Moving forward, we can see Atlassian. They are huge. So every time that I access their website, I get amazed about the quality and diversity of the content. It's just amazing. I'm not going to look deeply into each one of their products. I will just give you a macro context about it. And as we can see, things got complex when you think about how can Atlassian support those three pillars. So the narrative, the simplicity, and the consistency when they build something huge with more than 15 products. But the most important thing here is that the products are in the center of everything. So everything is going to be related to their products. And for them, it's easier because they are already a product-led company. So every piece of content that they produce will be related to something that they already do or they're going to be doing in a next future. So as we can see, they work with university, blog, community, podcasts, microsites, and that's really huge and complex. But I always like to refer them as the best blog in the world because it's not easy to produce the number of content with the quality that they're producing nowadays. And let's go to those three pillars. Here we've got, it's very clear, try Atlassian suite of products for free. Our cloud products empower teams of all types, from startups to enterprise. So that means that they are really simple in their message. There is consistency there because you can find it everywhere, and the prompts, they are always very clear. Try for free, try for free, try cloud. So it's a very simple way to communicate things. And this is a hard one because you're not familiar with Stage. So don't you worry, we are coming to the US. Stage is a WordPress hosting solution created to help marketers without programming or web hosted experience. And our page is very focused in talk to sales. So let's see what we've got. We've got a page that there's a clear CTA, that's create a blog. So how are we driving traffic to there? We're using our tech blog that we talk about technology. We are using a speed analyzer and also cross-selling. So here's what we've got. Create SEO optimized blogs and generate leads in a few clicks without any programming experience. No coding skills required. So our message is going to be delivered at the most of the time for the marketers. So we're telling to them that they don't need to have any kind of experience to use our product. And then when you click on the create a blog page, you're going to be redirected to a freemium sign up, and you see three kind of messages. Create a blog, so set up a blog without a programmer. Choose a team will develop with focus on conversion by professional designers and marketing analysts. And the last one, boost your results. And our CTA, it's create our blog in 2 minutes. And it's very simple. We are making it clear. We are adding value to our narrative, to the product narrative. That is something very, very clear for everyone that works with marketing and have no idea about how to create a new blog or how to program. So that's how we are adding value here in our freemium page. Here, the first arrow, as I told you, we're using our narrative. And the second one, we're using the simplicity. And the last tip here is make sure that there's a trigger that prompts the behavior. So that means that you can have the best piece of content, but if you're not leading the user to an action when it's needed, it won't be effective. So make sure that you are using the right prompts or CTA so the action that you planned and desired will occur. And we are reaching to the end here. It's how to ensure content for your PLG strategy and never run out of new content again. So let's take a look here. Let's suppose that this is your product and there are layers from your product. So let's try to make it from the bottom to the top. There will be always a difference when you're creating content to retain or even attract new customers. So keep it in your mind. Start producing content that is directly related to your product so you can prioritize results in a short term instead of a long term. Okay, so here is what we can see. If we are going to start from the bottom, you should start creating content about your main feature, about secondary features, big announcements, or important updates. And then you're going to create content about filling the gaps, bug fix, your prospect pain points, and your market as the top of funnel kind of content. So thinking about short term, you should always produce content about your product, something that is very, very, very related to your product and how you're going to help them with your features. This will help you to position your product in the marketing and attract who is already aware of a problem, and also helps the sales team with sales enablement materials. So the way and format that you're going to deliver this message will be according to your resources. So don't you worry if you don't have a tool for sending emails. You can create a blog. Don't you worry if you don't have experience in creating webinars. You can create an ebook. You can create an offer page. So there will be always a solution if you are out of resources. So let's suppose that you are an online broker startup. So if you want to begin it with the bottom, with the product, near the product, we can create a perpetual webinar that's going to be talking about how to invest in stocks using your broker. Let's move forward. If you are going to create secondary features, content about secondary features, you can create a knowledge base that is going to cover all of your secondary features. And it's also going to be very important for your customers' education. Right now, it's more related to the middle and the top of the funnel. So you're going to think about your prospects' pain points. Here, the example that I used was a topic cluster. So everything you need to know about stock picking. So that's a subject that you also need to cover. And the market, a newsletter. So stock market today. You can say a daily newsletter about it, for example. So here I gave 4 examples of content and 4 examples of different kinds of content. So you can run webinars, you can use knowledge-based topic clusters, webinars. There's a lot of content that you can use and create your strategy, of course. But please don't forget about the consistency. The consistency needs to be everywhere when you're working with more than one channel. And your company's value, your product's value, they're also going to be very important in all kind of communication that you're trying to achieve someone. Okay. So that's it. Those are my tips for producing content to your PLG strategy. I hope that you like it, the idea of producing those contents. I hope you already got some insights in your mind. And I would like to give a special thanks to Fabio, Mateus, and Giuseppe because for being part of the team, the product and the marketing team, and for the support that we give each other every day. And you can find me on my email, so it's carlos.lara@content.com. I'll be available if you have questions. You can find me also on LinkedIn, and I hope you be safe in the quarantine and you enjoy the Product Led Summit. Okay, so thank you for staying here with me, and be safe.